147. I said, but he's strong, and he got a mentality. He's like, Shannon, I'm gonna get it. He said, Shannon, I'm gonna get it. He said, watch. He said, watch. He said, it's boxing. I'm gonna get hit, but he gonna get hit too. And I promise you, he gonna get hit more than I get hit.
Shannon Sharpe recently weighed in on Errol Spence Jr.'s reported return against Tim Tszyu, and he believes the matchup could answer one of the biggest questions currently facing the boxing world. After a lengthy absence from competition, Spence is preparing to return against a younger, dangerous opponent who has built a reputation for bringing relentless pressure from the opening bell. According to Sharpe, this is not the type of comeback fight where a veteran eases his way back into action.
I mean, that ain't what that is. This is Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu. He's no caliber of his father, of his daddy. So he can't even compare himself to his pops. He fighting me, he's trying to get out his daddy's shadow. So we'll see come July 26th, can he get out that shadow? I mean, it's a war, man. I'm not here to just shake and hug my opponents and all that. Like, it's a war, it's what it is. I'm coming into his hometown, coming to his territory, and I'm looking to take over. So I mean, why would he want to shake my hand? He's coming to destroy me, coming to knock me off and retire me. I'm coming to beat him and show him that he's not up to anything of my pedigree. So it's gonna be a great fight, and I know that I will become victorious come July 20th.
According to Shannon Sharpe, Tim Tszyu presents a uniquely difficult challenge for Errol Spence because of the way he approaches every fight. Tszyu constantly moves forward, throws punches with bad intentions, and refuses to allow opponents time to get comfortable. Sharpe explained that fighters returning from long layoffs often need a few rounds to settle into a rhythm, but Tim is unlikely to offer that luxury. Instead, he expects Tszyu to test Spence immediately by forcing exchanges, applying pressure, and trying to make the fight physically demanding from the start. At the same time, Sharpe,
you gonna be my B or you gonna be my W, but one of the two gonna happen. What you got to be one of
reminded fans that Errol Spence built his reputation by thriving in exactly these types of situations. During his prime years, Spence became known for breaking opponents down with relentless pressure, punishing body shots, and an ability to maintain a demanding pace for 12 rounds. Shannon noted that if even a large portion of that version of Spence still exists, Tim Tszyu could quickly discover that he is facing a far different challenge than many people expect.
I've always been a guy that chases the toughest and baddest challenges out there. And when I got presented with Errol, who's undeniably one of the best fighters of this decade, I didn't hesitate, and I straight away accepted. I accepted not to compete, I accepted because I knew that the victory is only on my mind. I know the challenge that is put in front of me. I'm going to work super hard, and I'm coming for it all. And thank you again. Victory is.
Tim Tszyu, meanwhile, appears completely convinced that this is his moment. In interviews and public appearances, he has consistently spoken with confidence about the fight and has shown no signs of being intimidated by Spence's accomplishments. Tszyu seems to believe that the timing favors him perfectly. From his perspective, he is facing a former champion who is attempting to rediscover his form while he himself is entering the prime years of his career.
It was some time I had 3 years off, and I feel like it helped me mentally, it helped me physically, gave me some time to recover, and just enjoy life, enjoy the spoils of my wins, and just being with family, being with friends. If you watch my Instagram, you see me traveling, enjoying my kids, having fun, and people kept asking me, "Are you coming back? When are you coming back?" And I told them, I know when it's ready. I know when I'm ready to come back. And I knew one day that I wake up and I decide to come back. And if it didn't happen, then I wouldn't come back to boxing. So I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to put on a great show. I can't wait for July 26th to be fighting in Australia, to be fighting in front of his fans. I look forward to disappointing them, putting on a great show, putting on another great performance and showing y'all why.
Tszyu has also suggested that inactivity could become a serious issue for Spence once the fight begins. While he has shown respect for Errol's achievements, he has repeatedly hinted that long layoffs affect timing, reflexes, and conditioning in ways that cannot be fully recreated in training camp.
Recommended, to go straight into the firing line. It would have been better to start off slowly, but on his caliber, he feels like he doesn't need tune-ups, which is fair enough. But yeah, it's going to be fireworks from the.
Tim appears to believe that regardless of how sharp Spence looks in preparation, there is a significant difference between gym work and facing live pressure under the bright lights. Stephen A.
BA, WBC, and IBF champion, all 4 belts on the line. The winner will be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. We get it. That is not why this is an epic fight. I've seen some fights before. I've seen fights for the title and all.
Smith also joined the discussion and described the matchup as one of the most intriguing fights currently being talked about in boxing. According to Smith, the mystery surrounding Errol Spence's condition is what makes the fight so fascinating.
Happened with Thurman, and for me, Errol Spence is sort of in that generation, and that's what I want to do and expect to do against him coming to this next generation of fighters. So yeah, let's bring the new with the.
Nobody truly knows what version of Spence will show up on fight night. Errol Spence, however, appears completely comfortable with the challenge in front of him. He recently suggested that there were opportunities to pursue different opponents, including bigger names and potentially larger events.
Tim Tszyu, do you look at this and say, this is the best fight for me right now?
Definitely. I feel like the styles mesh up very well. And you ain't got to retract on that. You said, you know what you said. Tim is the biggest of names. He cool, but he's not the biggest of names. And
for main event, he's the biggest of names.
He wasn't the best that I could get, but I'm not crazy, but I bought nothing. So. I was looking at Fundora. I'm looking at top names. Like, I fight him. Cause I'm the type of guy I really don't believe in ring rust. If I look good in the gym for 9-10 weeks, why I can't look good in the ring in the fight? Like, what makes the difference? That's the mental thing.
Yeah.
That a lot of people like it's like guys that's they good as hell. In sparring and practice and that, but when the lights turn on, they fold. And I just feel like I'm different. I feel like I look better outside. I look better in the ring and not in the gym. And I just feel like that come fight night, I'm gonna show everybody that ring rust is not a thing. It's more of a mental thing more than anything. And that's what people can't get over, and that's why they need a tune-up fight to get over that mental hump. It's not a thing for me. Yeah. Ring rust is not a thing.
Despite those possibilities, Spence reportedly felt that Tim Tszyu was the right fight at the right time. Training footage of Tim Tszyu has only increased excitement surrounding the matchup. Working alongside respected trainer Jeff Fennick, Tszyu has appeared focused, explosive, and determined throughout camp. Combinations have looked sharp, the movement appears confident, and his overall energy suggests that he is preparing for one of the biggest opportunities of his career. At the same time, Errol Spence has been putting in serious work under the guidance of Ronnie Shields. Videos from camp show Spence drilling combinations, working on movement, and refining the pressure style that helped make him a champion. Supporters have pointed to the footage as evidence that Spence still looks physically strong and mentally engaged.
Regards to the weight for this fight, Tim.
Oh yeah, 158. I can't complain.
The fight's at 58.
158.
Can I get the leftovers?
Of course.
Hey, Tim.
Of course. Oh, you're spot on.
Rolly Romero has already begun sharing his opinions on the situation, and he did not hold back when discussing Spence's comeback. Romero questioned whether Errol can return from such a long absence and immediately compete at the highest level.
2 years since the Crawford fight, yeah. 3 years, maybe 2 years. That's a good fight for him to come back because Tim Tszyu is also not at his prime anymore. He's been hurt, he's been knocked out. So that's actually a pretty good matchup for a return. It's also a good matchup for Tim. If he beats Errol Spence, big name, he gets another shot at something bigger. So that's a good matchup for both actually. But he's going to Australia, so that's a little iffy there.
No, plus when you travel that far, it takes a long time to adjust to the weather, the food, the time. Yeah,
that could be a little tricky, but matchup-wise, it's a good matchup.
He suggested that Tim Tszyu could expose any remaining weaknesses and potentially prevent Spence from looking like the fighter fans remember. Mikey Garcia believes another factor could play a major role in determining the outcome.
The world is glad to see that he came back. We all want to see him make a comeback. We don't never want to see a guy go out bad and not try to come back because that's what boxers do. I know he took a lot of things into consideration. He even told me when he spoke to a few people about it, and that was a good thing, but I'm glad he made the conscious decision to return. And I think it's a smart return because it's also against a guy who was on the way up there, who made it to the top, but had some struggles, and now he's on the incline trying to get back up too. So it's two guys trying to get back up. I think it's a great situation. I gotta say that I love about Errol Spence is that Errol don't want no easy fights. Errol don't want to fight guys that are
he AKA somebody. No tune-up.
No,
he don't want no tune-up.
He wants challenges, you understand me? He wants challenges. And for him to challenge a person like Tim Tszyu, when Tim Tszyu has been regularly fighting for the last 3 years, he's been not doing much. That says a lot about Errol, but that tells you exactly how much fight is still left in Errol. Errol is a guy who's always coming to the party to dance. He don't have time to play no games, and you gotta love that about Errol.
He's always been that guy, even in the amateurs, and I've always had respect for Errol Spence because he's a real fighter. And Errol Spence knows himself, so the respect is always gonna be there for him, and we will unpack this fight as we get closer because it's not until July 25th, but I'm excited to see him back. I'm excited to see him talking this talk. I would have just as much respect for him if he walked away and was able to sort of deal with them voices that we got to deal with as fighters and overcome that to say, nah, I'm good. I've done enough. But I equally respect him for taking this chance and taking this risk because it's a big risk. But oh boy, if he can pull it off, if he can come back and look anything close like himself, psychologically, mentally, physically, it's going to be a beautiful thing in the sport because when Errol Spence is boxing is in a better...
Garcia, fighting Tszyu in Australia would create additional challenges for Spence because of the atmosphere and support Tim would receive from local fans.
We're just going to see a different version of Errol Spence. And I feel like he's going to be better than he was in the past. And what I mean by that is, first round knockout coming soon. And Tim Tszyu is going to sleep, man. The boy ain't got nothing for him. But dude from Australia, my boy, he coming to Australia just to give him the work, you feel me? But better what I was saying. I just feel like Errol Spence is going to be a great fighter. He's doing everything. I see him in camp. And
Mikey explained that competing in an opponent's home country often brings unique pressures that can affect even experienced fighters. Roy Jones Jr., however, remains firmly in Errol Spence's corner.
Two guys who are very high contact fighters in terms of their styles. Tim comes right at you, he's really in front of you like he's shown his last couple of fights. And Errol's a Terminator. He comes forward and rips with both hands. He's a combination puncher. I think he's actually going to feel better at 54, not whittling himself down to 147. So all in all, I do like this fight because both guys have enough question marks that you really don't know exactly what's going to happen on fight night. Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence. Or Errol Spence and Tim Tszyu, depending on how you want to bill it. I go Errol Spence first. But it's I actually like the fight. It's a fight where I think there's a lot of question marks with both guys. And if Errol was coming in going right to a fight with like a Virgil Ortiz or someone who was streaking at one Fedor, or like a Sebastian Cordero, for example, coming up the layoff, I would be a little more apprehensive than I am with this. Because Tim Tszyu is a guy who his life has been turned upside down. His boxing life has been turned upside down the last couple of years. From going from a budding superstar champion looking to make a real name for himself in the States, to taking 2 really bad stoppage losses, to looking less than stellar in some of his comeback fights, to a guy who's been switching training camps, losing touch with family members. There's a lot going on brewing under the surface of Tim Tszyu at this moment. And with Errol, he's just a big question mark. The guy hasn't been in the ring in almost 3 years. His last fight was a really bad loss to Errol Spence. There was questions about his health in terms of the beating he took from Crawford, but also the car accidents that he had many years ago, in which it doesn't seem like he's necessarily the same.
Roy believes many people are focusing too heavily on the layoff while forgetting what made Spence such a dominant fighter in the first place. According to Jones, Spence's body punching, toughness, pressure, and championship experience remain valuable assets that cannot simply be ignored. Chris Algieri offered a more balanced assessment of the matchup.
He's a very good fighter, former world champion, and we know if we have a work cut out for us. We just know that Errol's going to be in the best shape that he can possibly get in, and with the experience and everything that he's been through in his life as a fighter, we feel comfortable in going to Australia to get this thing done. And the fans are really going to be the winners of this.
While acknowledging Tszyu's momentum and confidence, Algieri also pointed out that several important questions still surround both fighters. He noted that nobody truly knows how Spence will perform after such a long break, but there are also questions about how Tszyu will react if he encounters adversity against a proven champion.
Backing into a more, disciplined lifestyle to where, I'm always around my family, just finding different hobbies that I like other than boxing, and realizing that I'm okay without boxing, and just being 100% there for my family, and just enjoying life outside of boxing. Just getting time to recover too, just getting time to recover mentally, recover physically, and just enjoying life, man. Enjoying life, enjoying the moment, living in the moment, and not just thinking about what's next all the time. I feel like that's a bad habit that I had of myself. Like, even after winning my first world title, like, I never stepped in the moment. I always was thinking about what's next, or who I'm gonna fight next, or what I'm gonna do next. But during this time off, I was just more in the moment, getting more clarity, spending more time with my family, and just the main thing, just enjoying life and just living in the moment and being present. Being present is the biggest thing of all. Just being present with my kids, being present, with my girl, being present with my fiance, being present with my mother.
Ronnie Shields remains extremely confident in the work Spence has been doing throughout camp. According to Shields, the focus has been on rebuilding timing, sharpening technique, and ensuring that Spence enters the fight in peak condition.
I'm also so happy having Errol Spence back. He's already done so much in this game, being a unified welterweight champion, the WBC, WBA, and IBF world champion. So it's great having him back. He's got big wins over some great names like Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Yordanis Ugas. So it's just great having him back. I'm personally very happy, and I think that it's going to be a big night for him, big night for us.
Tim Tszyu always turns up to fight. He's shown here on many occasions what it actually means to jump in the ring. He's a warrior, and I know that he wants to get back to the top. And the only way to get back to the top is to beat Errol Spence. And that's what we're going to see.
Shields believes fans may be surprised by how prepared Errol looks once the opening bell rings. Errol Spence has also spoken openly about how stepping away from boxing allowed him to gain a new perspective on both life and his career. He explained that the time away helped him become more disciplined, more focused, and more appreciative of the opportunities still available to him. Rather than viewing the layoff as a disadvantage, Spence sees it as a chance to return refreshed and motivated. As excitement continues to build, fighters, trainers, and analysts throughout boxing have started taking sides. Some believe Tim Tszyu's youth, momentum, and aggression will prove too much for a returning Spence. Others remain convinced that championship experience, elite fundamentals, and ring intelligence will ultimately favor Errol. The closer this fight gets, the bigger the questions become. Can Errol Spence truly recapture the form that once made him one of the best fighters in the sport? Can Tim Tszyu handle the pressure of facing a former champion determined to reclaim his position among boxing's elite? Both men have plenty to prove, and that is exactly why fans are so invested in the outcome. Ultimately, everything comes down to what happens when the bell rings. Training footage, predictions, and expert opinions can only tell part of the story. If Errol Spence returns looking sharp, disciplined, and physically strong, he could remind everyone why he was once considered one of boxing's pound-for-pound best. But if Tim Tszyu successfully applies pressure, forces mistakes, and takes advantage of any signs of ring rust, he could score the biggest win of his career and officially establish himself as one of the sport's top stars.